Hey, what's going on, everybody? I know it's been a while. I think I've been saying that every time. I wish I could get videos out more promptly than I can, but I've been pretty busy lately. And sadly, this isn't an update video on the Subaru, or on my Subaru anyway. Um, uh, it's gonna be a little bit. I got to bring those heads back in and get them redecked, and so I'm probably gonna just wait till I get the motor on my WRX pulled before I go do that, so then I can bring the heads in at the same time and get those redecked as well. I thought I told the shop to redeck the block while it was there. I guess I forgot or spaced it or something, so I might have to bring it back for that. But anyway, in this video, my buddy has a 2008 Subaru Legacy. He got it not too long ago, and sadly he's had nothing but, I wouldn't say nothing but trouble, but it's been overheating. So he's bringing it over. He's trailing it here because he lives like an hour away, so he didn't want to drive it all the way here overheating or anything. But we might be pulling the motor in it. I borrowed that engine hoist from my grandpa, and I have an engine stand right there. I had that from another motor that I had. But obviously, I'm not just going to go straight in and pull the motor. I'm going to check it out, make sure it's not the water pump or something. Maybe test some other things, take a look at the oil. Let it run for a little bit, see if it's using coolant or leaking anywhere. But in typical fashion, I guess you could say, I'll try to do a step-by-step of like everything I'm doing. Do like some time lapses. And just kind of, if I run into any problems or issues that I have, obviously I'll let you guys know. So if you guys are doing this, yeah, you can just refer to this and maybe it'll make it easier for you. But I've never pulled a motor before. My Subaru was going to be my first time, but I guess I'm doing this before that, so I guess we'll see how that goes. And now I'll be a little bit more prepared for when it comes to that. So yeah, I guess if you guys are seeing this, I'm making a video out of it and I'm pulling the motor, so I'll catch up with you guys here in a minute. Alright guys, Whistle's here and my brother's here, but yeah, I haven't been updating you guys because we kind of just got to working on it, and I honestly forgot, like usual, nothing new. But here's the car. I'll flip the camera out here in a second. We got the radiator out. First, we're gonna check the thermostat. I'm gonna take it out and then throw it in some water and like boil the water and see if it opens up or not. And then next, I'm probably gonna check the water pump. And hopefully one of those is it, so we don't have to pull this whole motor and put new gaskets in it, head gaskets, because it's kind of a pain. But if we need to, we will. So here's the car. It's just a 2008 Subaru Legacy. Nothing special. Automatic, because Hank, our buddy, won't buy a manual for some reason. But we're trying to get him to buy WRX. We're trying to get him to sell this thing. But as you can see, we got the radiator out. I took the alternator off because I was checking out this sensor right here because it was just taped on for some reason. But yeah, so I don't know, tomorrow we're gonna pull these covers off, pull this out of the way, check the water pump. It might not be it, but I'm not sure.
Moral of the story here, guys, is don't buy a Subaru at all.
Well, buy a Subaru, but if you're gonna buy a Subaru, don't go buy NA Subaru.
Yeah, get yourself a nice WRX or an STI.
Sexually transmitted.
But yeah, we're gonna get back into it tomorrow, and I'll try to record more tomorrow. I'll probably forget again, but we'll see. All right, guys. Well, it's the next day, and I took the the thermostat out and tested it, and it opened like it should. Drained the oil. There was no coolant or anything in there. I looked at the water pump and it looked okay. I didn't really see it, like it wasn't leaking or anything. So I just took the radiator out. I just showed you guys that because we were gonna re-burp the system because he didn't do it when he put a new thermostat in. But I don't think that would cause it to get that hot, so I think we're gonna go ahead and start pulling the motor. I mean, again, I didn't really want to, because I know these things can be kind of finicky, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If not, well, we're doing it, but you know, if not, he can get another motor for it, I guess. Which one of my other buddies is saying that's what he needs to do anyway. He needs to get rid of this thing, but we'll see. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Put you on time lapse again whenever we start pulling more stuff off. I think right now I'm gonna get the alternator out so I can get the power steering pump and AC condenser out of the way. I'm not disconnecting that or anything. Just gonna kind of put it off to the side as much as I can, get it out of the way, and then I'll start disconnecting like a whole bunch of all the small stuff like hoses and intake duct and stuff like that. But yeah. Alright guys, it's the next day again. We had to go get some chains to put on the engine hoist to mount it to the motor, to pull the motor out. But right now I'm working on getting the intake manifold off, and there's this little like rubber door on the back side of the case halves that allows you to get into the transmission. And I was talking to my buddy last night, and he said to unbolt the torque converter from those holes. You just keep cranking it over and spinning the torque converter around, and there should be like 4 bolts to take out. So that way the torque converter stays on the transmission. Don't have to worry about, he said it was a whole mess if you pulled it out with the motor too. It was just pain in the butt to try to get back on. So hopefully I can get that. But yeah, I disconnected the fuel lines, took the glow plugs, the coil packs out. You know, I gotta do a couple other things, unplug some more sensors and stuff so I can pull this manifold off. And then it should be good to take that off anyway. And then I'll start messing with trying to get that torque converter off. We were trying to take the exhaust off last night. We were trying to unbolt the mid pipe from the headers, I guess you could say. And those bolts were stubborn. Mitchell was messing with one of them, and the nut started to come loose, and then it just pulled the whole stud out and stripped the threads real bad. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. We'll figure it out once we get it out and get everything situated. But it's going pretty good so far. Haven't really ran into any issues besides that. So he said he's not really in a time crunch to get it done. I'm not going to be going back to work for a minute. I think I should have the rest of next week and maybe the week after that off for Thanksgiving. But we'll see. So it should be done this weekend. If it's not, then I'd be surprised. But yeah, I'll catch up with you guys here in a minute and kind of give you an overview of what's going on. So. Alright, so I just got the intake manifold off, as you can see. Got cut up on a few plugs like this sensor right here, but I got it. So this is that black cover I was talking about. Should be able to pop it off, and then whenever I crank it over, I'll throw a socket right here and spin it with a ratchet, and it cranks it over, and it should spin this around so I can get access 4 bolts. I'll undo those 4 bolts, and then once we get the mid pipe off the header right here, undo all these back bolts on the transmission that come into the block, and should be good to pull this thing. Here's the intake manifold. And again, this is my first time, so you know, it's taking me a little bit longer because I have to make sure that I'm getting everything. Like, I can't remember or don't know everything that needs to come off at once. I just kind of have to go through and look. But that head gasket over there almost looks new. Newer anyway. This thing's dirty. I'll probably vacuum it out and decrease it when we get it on the stand. But yeah, that head gasket, it looks pretty old and worn. So hopefully that's the issue. All right, guys, I'm gonna crank it over and kind of show you guys where that bolt pops up at. So. All right, so you can see how that bolt is sticking out now. I'll take you off the tripod and get you a closer look at it real quick. But yeah, so there should be 4 of those. I'll obviously take those off, and then we'll be ready to pull the motor, hopefully. Like I said, get the exhaust off, get the transmission bolts out. And that's really all I can think of, so that should be good to go. So yeah, I'll catch up with you guys here in a second. All right, so we got Mitchell down here.
No, I don't want to do this, man.
No, we're
Stop
doing
recording.
No,
me.
you wanted to be in it.
No,
You said pull your phone out. So we're doing it.
I say
So
naughty words.
anyways,
in the video.
he's trying to get the exhaust off. We got another bolt off, but it pulled the stud out again. But it's not messed up, so it should be all right. Ended up taking the wheel off so we get this big bar in there. Break it loose a little bit, but that's what he's working on. How's it going?
I love Subarus. I love them so much.
And then they have all the heat shielding like hose clamped on for some reason. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but I showed you guys the head gaskets, didn't I? So yeah, he's working on that. Once he gets that out, we'll start focusing on this and getting the hoist over here. All right, so we're about to pull the motor. I got the hoist all out, and then I'll throw you guys on time lapse real quick while we get everything. We got a few more bolts we got to take out. Mitchell got the exhaust bolts out, and I loosened up the motor mounts.
I did a good job.
He's proud.
I did a very good job.
So yeah, we'll get that out. I'll put you guys on time lapse real quick, and then we'll put it on that motor stand over there. But Mitchell just walked in the way. And then we'll start maybe getting the heads off. Obviously, we got to take all this off still. We'll take the headers off when we get it up there. And yeah, we should be good after that. So. we got the motor on the stand. I just took the crank pulley off so we can pull these plastic covers off. We'll get the timing belt off. We'll flip it around, take the exhaust off, and then we can start taking the valve covers off, get the cams out. And then, well, I know on the dual overhead cams, you have to take the cams out to be able to get to the head bolts. I'm assuming this will be the same way. I guess we'll see here in a minute. But yeah, the hoist did pretty good. It leaks a little bit, so it wasn't that bad. But everything in here looks like it's in good shape. Obviously, surface rust, but that ain't no big deal. It's a little, greasy and grimy, but it'll be all right. There's the exhaust we were messing around trying to get off. I took the starter out, but I really don't think I had to, because I think I was thinking on the manual cars, we just take the whole flywheel out with the motor. That's why I took it out, but I don't know, I did it anyway. But we got the headers off and we got these covers off. I'm gonna have to do some research about the timing on these. This is upside down right now, obviously. But see, there's a mark or like a groove right here, and that's where you time this one. And on this one, there's no like back cover like there is on the like dual overhead cams. Like my car, for example, has a cover on the back, and it has the mark on it. But this one doesn't have the mark, so I'm gonna have to do some research into this, and because I'm not trying to mess up the timing on this and fuck his whole motor over, but I guess we'll see how it goes. And yeah, so I'm gonna do some research, and then we'll start pulling the heads off and getting the valve covers off and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm gonna have him buy a timing belt kit, because as you can see, this timing belt's shot. There's a whole bunch of dry rot, I guess, like stretch marks in it and stuff. So I'm gonna have him get a new timing belt and water pump kit, help refresh this thing a little bit. And yeah, so I think I have this lined up right. I'm asking one of my buddies right now if I line it up with the marker line, or if I line it up with this mark that's actually in the pulley itself. So whenever I get over to this side, I don't really have anything to go off of, so I'm not sure what to do there. But yeah, so more money he's having to spend, which we were trying to do this as cheap as possible, but if you got to do it, you got to do it. And it'll hopefully be like pretty reliable when he's done, so he might end up keeping it. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, so we're probably not going to be able to get to this till tomorrow. Well, we can pull the heads off and stuff, but we won't be able to do the timing until tomorrow. So I guess I'll catch up with you guys here either in a minute or tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, so I didn't know that these had rocker arms. I know, like my motor, I'm pretty sure it has, they're called cam buckets. So there's two cams, so there's like one right here, let's say, and then one right here. And there's these little just buckets that sit in there that the cam pushes up and down. But this has rockers, and I don't think we're gonna have to pull the cams out, because it looks like we can get to all 6 head bolts. So that's awesome, because I know on ours you have to take the cams out to get, there's a couple head bolts like under them in a weird spot that you can't get to. So that's sweet. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna be getting a new timing belt and water pump kit tomorrow.
It's good stuff.
So we're probably not gonna be getting to that until tomorrow. So he's got to order it. He lives like an hour away, so he's gonna order it at a town close to us, which is like a half hour. So it probably won't be here. But yeah, if not, I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Well, we got some bad news. We were trying to take this head off, and this was the side with the head gasket somebody already put on. And I don't know. I think they might have torqued it down wrong. Who knows? But I was taking all the bolts out, got all of them out except for this last corner. The head stud snapped. Do you have the head stud out here?
Yes, I
The head stud snapped. And I'll show you how long they're supposed to be. It's supposed to be that many threads on it. There's not that many threads on it. And I'll flip it around, but it snapped all the way down in here. Like, there's no way we can get it out, obviously. So we got a few options. We might bring it to the machine shop and see if they can like drill it out and re-tap it. Might go to a pick apart and try to find a motor for cheap. We might do that first just so it'd be the easiest option. Or we'll order one online. But ordering one online is going to be like $900 to $900 roughly. But it's shitty. I knew things were going too good, I guess. But hey, I'm learning here. This guy's learning, you know, just part of the process, I guess. But I guess, I don't know. I might end the video here. I might add on to it here in a couple of days or a week or so whenever we get it finally put back together or figure it out anyway.
To be continued.
But yeah,
that's
as of right now, to be continued.
That's right. When you're down,
Get yourself one of these.
Oh yeah, what you know about it. All right, so I'll catch up with you guys here in a little bit, or I don't know, maybe a week, who knows. All right guys, well I think I'm gonna end the video there. He decided he's gonna order a new motor for it, which I think in the end it's probably better since we don't know how hot the owner got it and it could have messed other things up. I know on one of the heads with the old head gasket, well first off, the old head gasket was like in terrible shape. It pretty much fell apart whenever we took it off. But one of the head bolts was bent because whenever I backed it out, you could see it and feel it like spinning weird. So I checked the block with a straight edge and it didn't seem warped or anything. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but you know, it's probably better off to slap a new motor in it anyway. He can, you know, sell some of this stuff. I might buy the NA intake manifold off of them because I don't know, I've seen where people put them on they're like they're WRXs or STIs because they flow better than the ones that come on them. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look into that a little bit more, obviously, before I went and did that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop this video here and then I'll make a part 2 whenever we get his motor, the whole thing figured out and finalized. And then, you know, I'll record us slapping a new motor in, or if we end up taking that to the machine shop and having them do it, you know. But yeah, I'll catch up with you guys here in a little bit. And don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, show it to your brother, show it to your mom, show it to your buddy, whatever you got to do. Now, I know I've been saying I'm going to start on my car like every video now, but for real, I think next week I'm going to start on it. I got a new crank in. I got my clutch in. New case bolts, new rod bolts. I got an AOS. And I got a fluid dampener pulley. But yeah, I think next week me and Logan are going to check clearances on the block, which it'll be a little difficult because you got to put the crank in and stuff, and then you got to torque the case together, like torque everything down, and then check clearances to get crank bearing sizes that I need. And then we'll probably also do that for the rod bolts, or not rod bolts, but connecting rods, the bearings for the connecting rods. But anyways, like I said, well, I'll make a part 2 to this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.